In this video, let's learn how to tie a dropper loop knot, which is a useful knot for any time you need something to come directly off your line, like a hook or a weight. This dropper loop is super fast and easy to tie, but that being said, there is one situation where you really shouldn't use this knot, so be sure to watch all the way to the end so you don't make that mistake. So let's get into it. The first step is to get your fishing line. Now obviously I'm using high contrast line right here so that you can see what I'm doing with the knot, but I'll tie it in a minute with heavy monofilament line so you can see what it looks like on a fishing line as well. So the first thing you want to do is create a big overhand loop with your line. Now the size of this loop will obviously correlate with the size of the dropper loop that you're going to tie, but usually 3 to 4 inches in this case is going to be good. So that what you're going to do is take your fingers and thumb, and on the side of the line where your lines have doubled over, you're going to kind of pinch each side of those double over lines and create a little bit of a space between them. Now the next step is using your thumb and index fingers. You're going to begin to twist these lines over each other. Now you have to keep the lines pinched on the ends or else this is just going to come unraveled, but that's what your hand is doing over on this side. So again, just using your thumb and your middle finger, or your index finger rather, you're just going to begin twisting these over each other. And you're going to do that about 5 times, 4 or 5 times is fine. And so when you're done, you still have your loop, but on this side of your loop where you've twisted your lines, you have a little gap between the lines here, like so. So then what you're going to do is you're going to gather up the other side of your loop here, the single line, and you are going to pull that through the little loop that you just created, like so. So you're going to take your finger or thumb, or whatever makes sense for your hands, and begin to drag that through, like so. And you can begin to tighten it down. But before you tighten it all the way down, a very important step, as with all knots, is to wet that line. So after the line has been wet, you can go ahead and take both ends and cinch it down, and you'll see that everything comes together very nicely. And you have this very nice dropper loop which comes off your line at 90 degrees, nice and clean. So let's tie it with fishing line and see how it looks. All right, so I have 50-pound monofilament line here. You can see it's got a little bit more reaction to it. So the first thing again that you want to do is create your loop. Okay, now that you've created your loop, you have your side of the loop with the 2 lines, and you're going to kind of pinch and make space there. And then taking your thumb or finger or a combination of both, kind of whatever works for you, you want to begin to make your wraps. And again, you're wrapping these lines around each other 4 to 5 times. And then you'll still have your loop here, and you'll have this little sort of new loop that you created between your wraps. And then what you want to do is you want to take the other side of your loop here using a finger or thumb, and you want to drag it through the smaller loop that you just created, like so. Then you kind of get your fingers out of the way and pull it tight. Now before you completely tighten the loop, you can start to get it tight. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that you wet the line at this point. And while that's happening, if this video has been at all helpful to you, hitting that like button or subscribe button really helps the channel, and I appreciate it. Once that line is wet, you can go ahead and take your ends and go ahead and cinch it tight, and everything will very nicely just kind of fall right into place there. You have a very nice loop knot coming off 90 degrees from your main line. Now here's a situation where you probably do not want to use this knot. If you're trying to tie a loop knot for the end of your line as opposed to the middle of your line, this is probably not the best knot for that. That's because this knot is designed to come off your main line at 90 degrees, which is one of its strengths, as opposed to staying in line, which is more of what you want for tackle at the end of your line. The good news is there's an even easier loop knot you can use to connect a hook or a weight on the end of your line, and it only takes a few seconds. So click on this video here to learn how to tie that knot, and thanks again for watching.